Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Bueno. Good morning. How was everyone this morning? Good? Yeah? Great. Best. Show of hands. How many contractors or applicators do we have in the room? Whoa, great. That's good. This presentation that I'm going to share with you for the applicators as well as our individuals from our Tremco family will help provide information about our restoration systems in the roofing industry. Towards the end, we'll get into a question and answer session. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions. One of the questions I have for the applicators is, how many of you do roof restoration work? One, two, okay. Hopefully after this, we'll have more interest in doing restoration work. This all started back in 1947 with Republic Powder Metals, the founding company of RPM International, which is the umbrella company for Tremco, Toxement, Euclid, Stonehard, the whole list of companies that we were showing the first day in our presentation. It started with one product, Illumination 301, an aluminized asphalt emulsion. It's the only product in the industry that provides both a rust-proof and waterproof warranty when used on metal surfaces. We have no competition. It's a great product when we install it. It looks fabulous, and you'll see lots of pictures of the product in use. So what I'm going to start here is just basically a brief PowerPoint presentation on fluid-applied restoration products from Tremco. Let's see if I can get this to work. Our roof coating market, $750 million annually. It's too long? Thank you. Great, this helps out. Roof coating markets in the U.S., acrylics, aluminums, asphalt, ceramics, coal tar emulsions, epoxies, all the way down the list. The products we're going to be talking about today is AlphaGuard. AlphaGuard is our urethane technology. It's really put us to the forefront in the marketplace, and as of last year, 2016, we became the largest manufacturer and supplier of roof restoration products in the United States, surpassing everyone. Roof coatings are similar to that of your restoration or your waterproofing products that you might use. We have a binder, we have a pigment, we have a solvent as our three components. As you can see, the binder determines the physical performance, pigment provides the color, and the solvent allows for the fluid application. How many people are familiar with acrylic coatings? Okay. Acrylic coatings are basically a heavy-bodied latex paint. Okay, it's not a waterproofing product. It's just a heavy-bodied, fiberized emulsion that we can use to protect the existing surfaces from weathering. Okay, you might see a lot of it on your roofs around here, where you take a black roof and you put a white coating on it to protect the surface from the elements. It's not a strong waterproofing product. It's the urethanes that we use in conjunction with the acrylics that make the system waterproof. As you can see here, some of our advantages with acrylics: reflective, some elasticity, low odor, low VOC, can be easily applied by roller or spray, and it's a low-cost product. Some of the disadvantages: poor resistance to ponding water. It's soft to the touch, so that means it's going to attract a lot of dirt. It doesn't clean well. It requires multiple coats, and depending on where it's being used, there are some weather restrictions, cold temperature especially. Some of the acrylic coatings we have in the Tremco family are our ice coatings, our SolarGuard 6083 high build, and our Acrothane. I'll show you some pictures of the products in actual use. And then non-restoration coatings, as you can see, are the Polar Coat, T24, and Wall-Tite. And then some of our competition below. Aluminum coatings, again, we're talking about our Illumination 301, asphalt, aluminum paste, or flake, and a solvent. The unique thing about our Illumination 301 is since 1947, when Frank Sullivan began Republic Powder Metals, the product contained 15% aluminum flake. It always has, and it always will. It performs very well at 15%. A premium grade asphalt emulsion that our competitors use is 9% aluminum flake. That's why our product performs so much better than our competition. Some of the advantages to aluminum coats: minimum labor steps. It's a one-coat process. It's a direct apply to tight rust. We can go directly over rust without a primer. And again, it's easily installed, usually with the spray rig. In some applications, we can use a squeegee and roller. And it's, again, a low-cost price point. Some of the disadvantages: we can't use it on rooftops where there's pounding water. Lower reflectivity, of course, solvent-based. It does have an odor, an asphalt odor to it, so if you're using it around school, government facility, or hospital, it might be an issue. It could discolor. When you put the product down and it hasn't fully cured, if it gets wet, it will turn kind of bronze in color. After a couple of weeks of it drying out, it will leaf back up and be bright silver again. And again, the other issue is weather restrictions. When we get down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, we pretty much have to stop application. Some of our restoration aluminums, as we talked about, the Illumination 301, our double-duty aluminum, and then our competitors and some of their products. Okay? We're not afraid to show our competitors because we know we perform that much better than them. Silicone coatings. Silicone coatings have been around for a very long time. They're predominantly used to go over spray polyurethane foam or foam insulation. It's a great marriage between the two products. The downside, as you learned yesterday with Dante's presentation, is once you use silicone, you're stuck. That's all you can use is silicone. Okay? Silicone only sticks to silicone. So there are some limitations there. The other issues you have with silicone is it's very soft, so it attracts a lot of dirt. It doesn't like to stay clean. It's a multiple coat application. Again, weather restrictions, and as you can see at the bottom, limits future applications. You are stuck using silicone once you use silicone your initial time. Our restoration of silicones are the AlphaGuard SI 100, which is 100% solids, and our AlphaGuard SI 70. And again, our competition below that, Geico Western, GE, and Progressive Materials. They're all very good companies, and they've done very well in the industry. We are relatively new with our silicones into the marketplace. We are carrying it as a me too for the contractors that want to use silicone because it's an existing silicone surface that they have to restore. Urethane coatings. This is where we lead the industry. Urethane coatings use a binder of a urethane polymer, titanium dioxide and color pigments, and xylene as our carrier. Some of our urethane coatings are 100% solids, which means we have no solvent whatsoever. So the xylene is eliminated. The advantages of our urethanes, as you can see, is high performance, high reflectivity, a harder durable finish, and it holds up better in the environment. The hard durable finish is also a benefit because it stays cleaner. It doesn't attract dirt. Some of the disadvantages: some of our urethanes require multiple coats. Some have odors, while others don't. And again, weather restrictions. When we get down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, what is that in Celsius? Yeah, 5 degrees Celsius, correct. Our urethane technologies, AlphaGuard Bio, AlphaGuard MT, GeoGuard, and then our competitors listed below that you might see in the industry. And please let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay? It's okay. Restoration candidates. What do we look for when we want to restore an existing roof? We want to make sure we have a system that has minimal defects. We want to look at the roof doing an inspection. We want to see if it has open laps, if there's any splitting, exposed scrim, weathering, corrosion. We want to make sure it has positive slope. Just like our waterproofing systems, we don't want a swimming pool on top of that roof. We want positive slopes so the water drains off the roof. Minimal to no wet insulation. In the United States, we use a lot of insulation on our roof assemblies. I'm not sure what the process in Latin America is, but we use a lot of insulation. Once it gets wet, we have to remove that from the system and put in dry insulation. The rule of thumb we have in the United States is if there's more than 25% wet insulation up on that rooftop, it's not a restoration candidate. It's too much money to fix it. Would this make a good restoration candidate? No. We have too much water on there. How about this one? No? I'm thinking, no, that's probably a little too far gone. You can see a lot of areas throughout the roof where it's exposed scrim. It's probably not a good candidate. How about that? No. A tough crowd. Much better, right? Okay. And again, metal, good candidate. What we look at in the roofing industry is we want to perform an inspection of that surface. Much like you do in waterproofing, you want to inspect the concrete or the existing surface you're going to apply your fluid-applied membrane to. We need to get up on the rooftop. We need to put boots on the roof, and we need to walk it and look for problems, okay? We utilize a inspection form, which is online at tremcoroofing.com, and as we walk the roof, we're taking notes. Inspection reports available. We have to be on the rooftop. We don't want to be on the road taking pictures of the roof. We want to be on top of that building. When we also do our inspections, to make sure it's a good candidate, we do infrared scans or nuclear scans up in the United States. It helps us find where the wet insulation is in the rooftop itself. We want to identify where all the wet insulation is so we can remove it and replace it with dry insulation prior to our restoration system being installed. In the United States, we use our own Tremco diagnostic team to perform these IR scans. The reason why we need to replace the wet insulation with dry insulation is because of the vapor drive. What will happen is you go and put a liquid applied urethane or a coating over that roof surface, and there's moisture in that rooftop. You can experience loss of adhesion with the urethanes. You can outgassing issues, blistering, and basically failure of the system. So we need to remove all the moisture from the system before we put our coating on. Okay? When we do infrared scans, it's best that we do them at nighttime. It allows the heat from the day to dissipate from the roof surface, but the heat and the wet insulation will maintain. And when we use an infrared camera, it'll show up in a different color. So we're able to pinpoint during the daytime by doing our IR scan and mark out with paint where the wet insulation is. Okay? And this is just a more sophisticated version of IR scans, and you can see all the red showing the wet insulation, the red and yellow, and then on the blueprint you can see the areas that we need to replace prior to putting the restoration system on. The other requirement we have when we're dealing with modified bitumen or tar roofs is we need to do a diagnostics which we call trace core analysis. And that's where we have to send in basically a panel or a section of the roof for testing. And what we're testing is to see how far along that roof is aged, what the tensile strength remains in the felts, and how much asphalt is left in the system as well. If it's too dry or too brittle, it's not a good restoration candidate. Okay? It seems like we want to do a lot up front, but as we said, the devil's in the details. We want to make sure we have a good candidate before we go in and start the restoration project. Our industry, restoration roofing products in general, in our industry, we've had a lot of problems over the past 30 or 40 years because we've had a number of manufacturers who have not gone this route and told the applicator, sure, go ahead, put our coating down. And then when it fails, the manufacturer doesn't stand behind the product. Tremco, we offer 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 50-year warranties on our restoration systems. So we want to know up front what we are buying before we put our restoration system on top of it, because we are married to that job, to that roof, for the term of that warranty. Trace core analysis are required on gravel surface built-up roofs. Okay? It might not be a lot of that in Latin America. In the United States, there is. All the testing is done in our labs. And again, we're testing for tensile strength, inter-ply adhesion, and softening point of the asphalt. So we want to make sure everything's within the tolerances that are acceptable for us to go ahead and move forward to restore. Adhesion testing, we talked about it a little bit with Dante's presentation. We also want to do adhesion tests. We want to make sure that we are going to bond to that existing surface. We don't want to find out after the fact, that we put down 50,000 square feet of product and now it's peeling off the roof because it didn't stick. As you can see in the first picture, adhesion failure from the substrate, cohesive failure, meaning our coating failed within itself, which is acceptable, or substrate failure, which is not good. So we want to find out what's going on within the system, and the way we do that is adhesion testing. And we'll do some of that outside this afternoon when we do the hands-on presentation. This is some adhesion testing on a metal roof surface. As you can see in the first picture, we peeled cleanly off the metal. Second picture, we left residue. And again, we had a clean peel off the existing roof surface. So when we do adhesion testing, we like to do two tests when we're putting down the product. We want to do one with primer and without primer, okay? Just to see where we get the better values. The other testing we want to do is when we're on rubber roofs, or EPDM roofs as we call them. We want to put down a sample panel, as you see right here, to see if the membrane is going to swell or wrinkle, like you see right here. That's no good. So when we put down a test panel, we give it 10, 15, 20 days of cure time, and if it remains flat and smooth, we know we're compatible with the existing surface. We can go ahead and move forward and restore the entire roof. When we do our inspections, we require a lot of photos. The IR scan is mandatory. Trace core analysis only on your gravel built up roofs. And then our test applications for adhesion and wrinkling. And as I was talking about, this is why it's so critical that we do all this work up front, is because of the warranties we offer. If you look at the AlphaGuard Bio MT Plus systems up top, we're going over a hot tar roof, we're at 20-year warranties. Concrete, we're offering a 20-year warranty, labor and material. When we're going over a single ply, we're offering a 20-year material and labor warranty. Standard, out the door. We offer longer warranties with those systems, but that's where we start. That's 20 years of exposure that we have on that roof surface. So we want to make sure of what we're dealing with before we start the restoration project. So now we're going to get into some pictures of some projects. Low slope warranty options. If you look here at AlphaGuard Bio, let's back it up one. AlphaGuard systems, Bio and MT, urethane, our warranties are 20. These are systems that they can be applied over. And a lot of this information is on our website. And I'll show you how to use our website so you can obtain this information on your own schedule. All right, AlphaGuard Bio MT system. Our AlphaGuard primer we put down at a half a gallon per square. Yes, we're going to get into some technical aspects here, and I want to help you out so we can bridge the communication barrier. One of the things we're going to look at is coverage rates. Okay, right now we say squares. In America, 1 square equals 100 square feet, or 9.29 meters squared. Okay? When we say 1 gallon is 16 wet mills, that's 1 gallon of product. It could be urethane, it could be milk, it could be gasoline, or your favorite cerveza in the evening. When you pour it in a 1 square area, it's going to be 16 wet mills. What remains is the amount of solids. So when we start talking about some of our urethanes will have 90% solids, some will have 60% solids, some will have 100% solids. If we put down 16 wet mills of 100% solids, when it dries, we will have 16 dry mills. If we put down 16 wet mills of a 50% solids, we will have 8 mills dry when it cures out. It evaporates and only leaves us with the 8 mills. So I put some information up there just to help out. So our AlphaGuard Bio systems, when we're going over a single ply system or a roof system, we use a primer. And you can see we put it down at a half a gallon per square, or 9.29 meters squared. We apply the AlphaGuard base coat, and as you can see here, let's go back, a little button happy. When we're going over a smooth surface, say single ply or hot tar roof, we're putting it down at 3 gallons or 48 wet mills. When we're going over a rough or coarse surface, we're going 4 gallons or 64 wet mills. So we're using a little more product. We're using our permafab fabric, which we'll see outside this afternoon, and we lay that into the base coat to reinforce it. And once that cures, then we come back with the AlphaGuard top coat at 2 gallons or 32 wet mills. So when we're finished, we have an 80 mil fully reinforced, fully adhered roof membrane on top of the existing roof system. In order to get there, we need to clean the existing roof surface. A minimum 2,000 psi. For your contractors in the room, you're using a commercial grade pressure washer. You're not using something from your garage. It needs to have a lot of power to it. You can use a power broom, and what we're doing here is we're cleaning the roof surface of existing contamination. When we're pressure washing the roof surface, we're using a mild or biodegradable cleaner and high pressure water. After it's clean, we're putting down our primer, either by roller or we can spray apply it for faster production. What we do differently in restoration is we do all of our detail work first. In conventional roofing, the field work is done first and then the details are tied in. Restoration's 180 degrees reverse. So we'll do all of our detail work, we'll add the base coat, we'll embed the fabric, and then we'll do the field of the roof to tie in with all the details. And again, coverage rates 3 gallons to 4 gallons on the base coat, embed the reinforcing fabric, and then top coat 2 gallons per square. Again, you can roll apply this with the rollers as you see here. What we prefer to use is a method what we call pour, squeegee, and back roll, kind of like what you do with waterproofing membranes. You pour it out onto the surface in a grid, squeegee it out, and then back roll it smooth, lay in the fabric, and then back roll the fabric to make sure it's totally submerged into the base coat. Let that cure for a half a day to a day, and then apply the top coat. Looks nice, doesn't it?
Nice.
Very nice. We take an old roof and we can make it brand new for a fraction of the cost of replacing that roof. It's usually a 60% savings for us to do something like this versus tearing off the roof and putting a new one on. We're not taking materials to the landfill. We're not causing additional disruption to the tenants in the building. They don't even know we're up there half the time. So there's a lot of benefits to restoration systems. Roof assemblies, for those who are not familiar with it. We have the supporting metal deck or concrete deck. We have our rigid insulation. Then we have our cover board and our felts. And then we have our Alpha Guard system. This is what we call our Alpha Guard Plus system. It's a complete roof system for new construction. This system here starts out at a 30-year warranty for the building owner. And it's all Tremco product from the insulation up. As you see, they're using adhesive to put the insulation or set the insulation. As you can see here, that's a Tremco product. Then they put down Skurac or the Dens deck. Once that's set in place, then we come back with our Bermastic Comply Plus sheet, and we use a Bermastic SF adhesive to lay in the felts, as you can see right here. And this is what the roof will look like when it's completed. Then we'll come back in with our Alpha Guard system over the top of this. Again, doing the flashings first, putting our reinforcement in, and then working on the field of the roof and making everything watertight and bright white. Looks very nice, doesn't it? Yeah. It's phenomenal. And what we do in some of our applications is we'll use a different color top coat to create a warning strip around the perimeter for safety, or we'll use a different color top coat to create walkways up on the rooftop. So when mechanical contractors go up there to do work, they know to walk on that colored stripe. And we'll broadcast a little aggregate in it to make it slip resistant and wear resistant as well. See? As you can see, the azul, the blue, is for all the mechanical contractors to walk on, to do all their service work on all the units. And then the yellow is for safety. Okay? Kind of a warning strip. It looks really nice. What we've seen so far is a fully reinforced system where we're using fabric throughout all the base coat application. We've come up with another system using our AlphaGuard Bio that we call NR. It's supposed to be no reinforcement, but we do use reinforcement, as you can see in the bottom of the picture. We reinforce all the seams, all the penetrations, and all the detail work. On most of your roof surfaces, the issues where water can get into the system are at the seams or at the penetrations. It's not the field of the membrane that's failing. It's where it's brought together at all the contact points. So we come back in and we reinforce it at all the weak spots, the drain. As you can see here, drains, side laps, penetrations, wall flashings. Any area where there's deficiencies, we're reinforcing. And then what we do is we come back in and we apply our base coat at 2 to 3 gallons, depending on the service, and then our top coat at 1 to 2 gallons. So we're using less product. And here they're showing you the spray apply of the WB primer. And again, we're putting on the NR system. We've reinforced all the seams, and now we're spray applying the base coat, and we're not putting any more reinforcement in the base coat at this point. It's a very fast and efficient process. As you can see, the coverage rates changed from 3 gallons on smooth to 2, and on a granular surface it went from 4 gallons to 3 gallons. It's because we don't have that additional fabric in there that we need to account for. And our top coat, 1 gallon. Okay? This might change. It might turn into 1.5 gallons to provide better coverage so we don't see the base coat shadowing through the top coat. And again, once it's done, it's a monolithic, fully adhered, reinforced roof system. There are no seams on this roof. It's like someone came in and took a big sheet of urethane and just dropped it on the roof. There's really no area for leaks to occur on this roof system now. It's totally monolithic. Our GeoGuard system is where our urethane technology all started. And what we're going to show here is a mod bit system, which is probably typical of some of the roof membranes you have in your area. We're going to come in and strip in or reinforce all the seams. And once we complete all the detail work, we're going to apply our base coat. And as you can see, they're doing all the detail work. And you can see what it looks like when it's complete. That's all base coat, and that's what they're working on to restore. So big difference from here to here. On an 80-degree Fahrenheit day, this roof surface on a sunny day will be about 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Caliente, see? Same weather, same day, on 80-degree Fahrenheit, that might be 100 degrees. We've taken that much heat load out of off the rooftop, which means we're prolonging the life of the system as well. Coverage rates for our GeoGuard system, 2 gallons of base coat, and then 1 gallon of top coat. Again, as Dante was talking about yesterday, where we want to grid the surface area where we're applying product, you can see that the contractor did exactly that. They know that 1 bucket or 2 buckets are supposed to be used in those grids, okay? The gridding of the roof surface is one process. We still need to use the mill gauges, okay? We have to make sure we use mill gauges at all times. Again, a GeoGuard finished project looks very nice. Some of the advantages to doing restoration systems is there's less material, and we can use the elevators in the building to bring the product to the rooftop. Whereas if we're doing a conventional roof system, we would have to use a crane or helicopter the product to the rooftop. Interesting project. We restored this once, and we just restored it for the second time. That's what the rooftop looked like before. And I don't recall which building this is. I think it's in the Cleveland area. That's what it looks like after. Okay? This damage, there are walkways here, and that's where the window washers' equipment used to go back and forth so they can clean the windows of the building. And again, after, it looks much better. 11 years later, look how it looks. It looks great. Performs very well. And we've just restored it. And it required just cleaning the existing restoration system and applying some primer and 1 gallon of top coat. And we're done. It's not a total restoration once it's on. We will skip this. SolarGuard 6083 is one of our premier acrylics where we can restore existing roof surfaces. This is good where we don't have a lot of snow. It's a dry environment. We have positive slope. SolarGuard 6083, we're going through the same process. We're detailing out the entire roof area. We're detailing out the drains. As you can see here, all the seams have been detailed or reinforced, and now they're applying the white coating. And that's how it looks when we're complete. It's phenomenal. Building owners love this. Their air conditioning cost drops considerably when you turn their roof from black to white. It's amazing how much temperature changes inside the building. Another project where we use a 6083. And this is what I was talking about here. Black roof surface, 139 degrees. Same surface, we turned it white, 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Big difference. By changing it to white in color or a lighter color, we're taking all that load and helping prolong the age of that roof surface. The other benefit is if there's any air conditioning or air handler units on the existing rooftop, they run more efficiently. This is the ice coating on a single ply. I'm just going to go through it because we're really not going to promote much of the ice system, but it's a similar process. Clean, detail out the roof, and apply the ice coating. Again, it looks great when it's finished. All right, this is our Illumination 301 system over a smooth modified bit. Again, we're reinforcing all the seams, utilizing our, at the time, our GeoGuard seam sealer, but now we can use our GeoGuard base LO system, which is a lower viscosity, easier to use product, and a lower price point as well. And you can see all the detail work's been completed at all the weak points in the roof system. And then we apply the illumination at 2.5 gallons per square over the top. And it looks beautiful. It's a great application, and the illumination will hold up for a very long time. The nice thing about these systems is if we put a 12-year warranty on the system, at the end of 12 years, we can renew that warranty by simply cleaning the existing roof surface and reapplying minimum amount of gallons to make the roof brand new again. We don't have to do the complete restoration. We only need to add minimum gallons on top. Some of you had questions yesterday about metal roof restoration. Illumination 301, SolarGuard High Build, SolarGuard 6083, and SolarGuard 6083 with Acrothane over the top of it. You can see what we offer in warranties are pretty standard, 12 years across the board. Again, those are all renewable. At the end of the life cycle, if the owner wants to renew the warranty, we can provide them that option. Metal roof system, again, pressure wash, Make sure that there's any rust on the surface that we remove it down to tight rust. So if there's any scaling or flaking of the rust, we need to clean that off the surface by either pressure washing or using a wire brush. And again, we're using bleach or biodegradable cleaners along with the pressure washing. We're using our GeoGuard seam sealer or SolarGuard seam sealer on all the seams and all the fastener heads, because these are where water will get in. If the water's not going to get in the field of the, because that's solid metal, it's going to get in where we penetrated the roof and made a hole, or where the two pieces of metal have come together at the seam. So we make all that watertight. Yes, the lap. Flashings, ridge cap, we're all 3/4 and we're applying our urethanes on all the fasteners. And again, on our website, we provide all the coverage rates. You'll get 200 fasteners per gallon. You'll actually get 250 with the technique that I can show you later. If we have gaps that are larger than 1/8 of an inch, we want to add more fasteners. We want to tighten it up before we apply our seam sealer. And this is a project. It shows them doing all the detail work. You can see around the air conditioner unit, they have all the seam sealer. They've done all the detail work, and now they're spray applying the Illumination 301 at 2 gallons per square. Illumination 301 on metal should always be sprayed. It just turns out much better, and it's a much faster process. Trying to roll apply the product is a very slow and tedious process. And that's what it looks like when it's finished. That metal roof, we're providing a watertight and rust-proof warranty. Anyone seen these type of metal roofs? We love these. These are great. And after. Our SolarGuard high build system is an acrylic system that we can use on metal roofs as well. Same process. We detail out the entire roof system. We detail out the roof, and then we spray apply the SolarGuard 6083 or SolarGuard high build system. Again, acrylics work great when we have positive slope. And they will work very well on metal roof surfaces because most metal roof surfaces have great slope where the water sheds right off. But the other benefit to our SolarGuard systems is we can get them in any color you want. Okay? Any color. If it's not one of our standard colors, we just need a color swatch sent to us. We'll make up a sample, send it to you. You and the client get together and make sure they like the color. You sign off on it and send the form back to us. We keep it on file until you're ready to place the order for that color. Again, the finished product. This is our SolarGuard 6083 Aquathane system. This is a job down in Florida at the Philharmonic Theater. Interesting thing about the building is the panels were Kynar finish. They were chalking, they were discolored, and we came back in and made it look brand new with our 6083 Aquathane system, much like we're doing at the Fort Wilderness in Disney World in Florida. We're restoring all this metal to make it look brand new. It's a lot of work. For one worker to get to this area, it takes them an hour. 1 hour of, yeah, too many changes, too many elevations. We went out, we did some testing. We have to use our fluoroprime primer because this is a Kynar finish. We did the standard detailing. Then we apply our 6083, and then we apply 2 coats of the Aquathane. The Aquathane is like a automotive paint. It's very thin. It goes on very thin. And it provides a very hard and shiny surface over our 6083, so as dirt will not stick to it as easily, okay? And it also provides great color retention. As you can see, this is some of the older areas, and then you can see some of the newer areas. Again, the Philharmonic, was with our 6083 and Acrothane system. That's 8 years after completion, and it still looks brand new. It's a phenomenal product. This is for the baseball stadium at Notre Dame College. And you can see they're spraying the 6083 and Acrothane over the top. This is the 6083. See how it's dull in appearance? And the shinier is the Acrothane. So the 6083 is more of a duller finish, but it provides the color, and then the 6083 gives it the sheen, the shininess. 8 years after completion, a dark color blue with a lot of pigment in it is still holding its color. It's not fading or chalking. Our high builds can be used on exterior walls as well. We offer a warranty when we use our high build on exterior walls for water tightness. And again, we have a complete inspection process when we're doing walls and we're providing warranties. Just like your waterproofing, we want to inspect. If we have bad concrete or bad block, we need to fix it, okay? We have mold, we need to pressure wash it off. We have cracks, we need to fix those. Yeah. Again, some of the issues we want to address before we apply our product. We also want to test for moisture if water is getting into the concrete using a Ryland tube. As you can see, we use putty to attach this tube to the wall, and then we fill it with water. And if that block or brick is not watertight, it will take in the water. We have to fix that before we can put our product on. The benefit to using our high build system is a one coat system. Minimal passes, a primer, and then our high build. Most of your competitors require primer, base coat, and top coat. That's a lot of trips up and down that building, a lot of labor. This is for the contractors in the room. Why would you want to use a restoration system versus a total roof replacement? High profit margins. Okay? Great money. Okay? You're using smaller crews. I don't know how it is in Latin America, but in America, United States, we're having a problem finding good labor to do the work. So the crews are getting smaller and smaller, which means it's harder for them to do conventional roofing work, and it's easier for them to do restoration work. It's safer. We're not exposed to hot asphalt or torches or heavy equipment. It's an additional revenue stream to the contractor that you don't have if you're not doing this. It gives you an opportunity to pursue additional work. The benefit to our customers, it's economical. It's about a third of the cost of conventional roofing. We provide the long-term warranties equal to that of a new roof system. In the United States, with our IRS laws, when you restore a roof, it's classified as a maintenance expense, which gives the building owner the opportunity to depreciate 100% of that expense that year. Versus if we put a new roof on a building, they have to depreciate that cost over 39 and a half years. Well beyond the warranty of that roof, they're still depreciating the money they spent on it. Less disruption. As I said, when we're restoring a roof, a lot of times the tenants and the owner do not know we're up on that building. It's very quiet, no fumes. Restoration systems have been time tested, okay? Their performance has been proven. And then we have all the code compliances, UL, FM, Miami-Dade, LEED, and we can maintain that system for the life of the building. We have a school district in Wisconsin that has 1.5 million square feet worth of roofs. It started out with our original Republic powder metal single-ply membrane back in the 70s. When it came out of warranty, we restored it with GeoGuard. 12 years later, when it came out of warranty, we restored that GeoGuard roof. And now we're on our third restoration utilizing GeoGuard. One roof over 40 years. The school district is saving a tremendous amount of money. And again, we're back to our warranty matrix here. And a lot of this information is on the website, along with our material data sheets, along with our product data sheets, our MSDS sheets, and our details showing how to apply the product. We're also in the process of putting video on our website. So if you want to see how our products should be applied correctly, you can click on that video and watch a short 30-second to a minute to 2-minute video. Any questions?